let's tackle your shelving. So open shelves can all too often look like cluttered chaos. So Colin and Justin have not one but two ways to style them to keep your space both organized and chic. I mean, look at them. These two are organized and chic. So they're going to show you how to get the perfect shelfie.
I love that. Organized sheep, man.
Do you know what, Tracy? It's all about organization and clever order. So we've taken two different notions and we're going to talk about them individually. But one of them is this lovely vintage retro look, which you can see over there. Essentially, it's anything post-war. It's really friendly. Lots of mid-mod, lots of vintage, and it's a really classic feel that we love. The second look, again displayed on a classic IKEA shelf, is this woodsy kind of country look. Again, this is one of our favourites. I would say this is our wheelhouse because we do so much work in the outside space. So vintage retro and woodsy. Let's hear about the difference.
Exactly. So let's take a look at the retro, okay? First things first, bold patterns on the floor, bright colours. It's the 60s, the explosion of fashion, okay? Design classics, they really kind of used in this look a lot. This is the Hans Wegner shell chair from 1963, okay? So this is your look, then this should be the kind of vibe that you're going for.
Exactly. A little bit of pop art won't do you any harm. We went to the internet, we downloaded some pictures of ourselves, we put them through a coloration process, and hey presto, some Colin and... Isn't that fabulous, Tracy?
Yes,
Another thing that's absolutely... Oh, I'm glad you like them, Trace. Another thing that we love is this Serge Mouillet lamp over there. Now this is a French architect. He designed that in 1952. It's now a staple across so many designers' look.
Okay, so let's talk about shelving. Okay, so if this is your look, you may have a collection. You know, I love cameras. So here we can see two little shelf pockets, okay? And if you have a collection, the important thing is not to get them all out at one time, but to showcase your best, okay? So there's a family of 5. Talls are at the back, smalls are at the front, and they're spaced out so you can enjoy them all. If you have one individual hero piece, as I like to call it, let it sit in a shelf on its own. Imagine each of these shelves is a frame surrounding a beautiful picture, okay? Books are your best friends when it comes to creating a shelfie as well. So use one as a plinth and pop your hero piece on there.
Exactly. For me, the whole thing's a hero piece, but I want to talk to you, Tracy, for a little second about what we call stretch glass. Now, these are these beautiful mid-mod period pieces of glass. They're called stretch glass in Britain because it almost looks like they've been stretched. Well, in fact, they have during the machining process or the making process. Other people refer to them as art glass. Whatever you want to call them, they're so redolent of that time. Bags of colour, bags of energy, really, really invigorating. Now, it's important to think about creating a little vignette. So 3 pieces there with a surprise piece of white friar's glass, again from a similar period. Down here, using a pocket in your shelving for another little display of that stretched glass. It's all about seeing these little individual tableaus or these individual vignettes to bring it all alive.
Exactly. Are you feeling retroed up yet, Tracy?
I'm feeling retroed up. I think that's a beautiful
Excellent.
display of retro. Are you going to go through rustic or do you want to quiz me now?
We're going to go through rustic first, okay? Don't you peek too soon, me lovely. You know, rustic. If this is your look, you know, rustic, then it's cowhides on the floor, timber flooring, you know, a beautiful leather chair from Colin and Justin collection at Home Sense, textures on the wall, and this is your shelfscape, okay? This is the look that you could be going for.
Exactly. Now, I want to talk you through some of the classic things that are woodsy, such as driftwood or this lovely vine root. All of those things are really kind of archetypally typical of that period. But what about something like this? This is a sculpture of wooden links fashioned into a chain. I love that. Such a simple piece, but again, it takes that kind of woodsy reference and gives a thoroughly modern feel in this vintage kind of lovely world of application.
Yeah, another backbone of the whole rustic woodsy look is that you can actually use pottery in there. It's very natural of the earth as well. And if you've got a collection of pots, you see that we've got different sizes are here together, different glazes as well. But they're contained within the frame of this. So again, our shelf is like a little snapshot of greatness. Spell it out so that people walk in and they actually see exactly what your shelfie is about.
Now, Tracy, let's see if you've been keeping up. Has our lesson informed you? Do you know your difference between that lovely vintage feel over there or the lovely woodsy feel? Let's see how much you've been listening.
Oh my God, we're ready to play retro versus woodsy.
Okay, lay it on me, guys. The only thing I want to know is where does Escapology go? Does it go in woodsy or does it go in retro or does it go in both?
It goes in. I love you, Tracy. Escapology goes in any environment, my love.
right.
Any environment.
Oh my, that's why you get the big bucks, you gorgeous girl. First things first, my lovely Trace, what do you reckon of this radio? Is it retro or is it woodsy?
Oh no, they're so similar. I'm going to say retro.
You know what? You're right.
Yes!
And you'd have been right if you'd said woodsy as well. This is a great piece that you can actually use for all looks. It's old, it's perfectly retro, but it's got a beautiful timber casing. I mean, you think of these old radios, the story is about being at the cottage, being out of the city. So, it's perfectly at home in our woodsy setup.
Okay. Second for you to guess about, Tracy, these lovely vintage patches. Now, we've been collecting these for ages and ages and ages and looking for an opportunity to use them. So we thought we'd put them in a frame. But can you decide, Tracy, should these retro patches belong in the vintage vignette or should they be more at home in the woodsy vignette?
I'm going to put them in vintage, in the vintage retro vignette.
Okay, well, again, kind of one leg in one camp, one leg in the other. Ever the diplomat, but I think they're more at home in the woodsy because they really kind of pertain to life in the great outdoors and being athletic and sporty. Oh, come on, Tracy. Come on.
No, this, you're going to get this one, okay?
Okay.
What do you reckon of this? Look at this.
What is it?
It is a little electronic finger piano.
Obviously.
It's called a stylophone.
Oh.
Okay, so what do you reckon? Is it retro or is it woodsy?
I think it's retro, everyone. I really do.
It is retro.
You're a good student,
you
Tracy.
find that, beautiful technology, classic technology from the 70s is super retro.
Now, Tracy, my
look at those
little
baby
booties.
boots.
These were actually a present on my birthday. So these were made in 1985. So which category are they, Tracy?
They're just so cute. I want you to put them on your feet. Okay.
I might struggle, Cinderella.
I'm going to say put them in the vintage retro.
Yes, you're right, because they are obviously from another era, and I'm going to put them right up there atop our little vignette. They are the cutest little thing.
Because they're Justin's from when he was a baby, they're actually probably antique.
That's enough. Don't encourage him, Tracy.
Okay. So Tracy, that's it. So you've got the woodsy look. It's textural. It's inspired by the great outdoors, and it's all about bringing a natural vibe to your home.
Thank you so much. That was a fun little quiz, even if I failed. I think I got maybe 50%. Anyways, it was a great lesson
okay.
for how to make the perfect shelf.